What's going on, guys? This is Javier with MA Biz U. Just checking to see if this is all mic'd up. It's good to go. Good. Anyways, what I wanted to do is, let's make sure that this is going as well too. I see myself live. All right. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take a couple minutes. I'm in my basement. I haven't been live on the Small Dojo Big Profits site in a while. And so I figured it'd be a good time to actually do something live today and talk a little bit more about a topic that someone brought up to me a while ago, the saying about stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. And that really resonated with me. And I think it's something that we all need to understand when it comes to running a business, okay? Is this. So I'll go into that in just a second. And so what's going on is the reason I'm doing this live is that there's a discussion going on in the MA Biz U private group. So if you guys are not part of the private group with MA Biz U, you're missing out, okay? Because we actually have a lot of good stuff. I put a bunch of valuable content on there as much as possible. I know Mike does all the time as well too, on top of the coaching that we offer. And finally, the actual lesson plans that Mike has laid out. It's stellar. It's superb. Nothing like it. So, with that said, what I want to go over is kind of how this topic came up. Is people are looking at. Because I want to put this to where I don't offend everybody. So, people are penny pinching in so many ways, and they're trying to do everything themselves, and it doesn't make any sense, okay? And I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I was there as well too, but what I will tell you is that when I realized when I needed to start making some changes in my business approach, my business started flourishing and growing, even more so than ever before, okay? And I learned this early on in my business career, and I continue to learn it even more so with where I'm at. All right, so are you one of those people that is stepping over dollars to pick up dimes? If you are, you need to stop. Okay, your business is not going to grow. You're not going to get anything out of what your business is capable of doing. Okay, you as a person, as an individual, will not grow as well either. All right, the reason I say this is that you're so concerned about, saving these dimes here and there that, like if you just simply understand that by outsourcing and by hiring people that are better than you in areas that you just are not an expert at, you're going to be making more money. And this is the issue that I get all the time, no matter what it is, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's website design, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's Instagram ads or YouTube ads or Google AdWords. Whether it's email campaigns, operational things, or a coaching program like one-to-one coaching, anything like that. The most common thing that comes up all the time, people say is, well, I don't have the funds to cover for that. I can't afford to pay that. And it baffles me, okay? It doesn't baffle me that you can't afford something. It baffles me that that's the excuse, and you don't see the value behind outsourcing and having someone that's an expert in that field do it for you, okay? And it's really important that you understand something is that you as a martial artist, you opened your business, your martial arts studio, to teach martial arts, okay? You didn't open it to be a business expert in marketing or an expert in sales or anything like that. Will you develop those skills as your business continues to grow? Totally, okay? But there comes a point where you need to see, it's the 80-20 rule, all right? And you need to see where 80% of your time needs to go and 20% of your time needs to go and figure out what's the most profitable. So if you're not familiar with Pareto's law, the 80-20, you spend 20% of your time, you spend 80% of your time to 20% of what's going to make you the most money. Does that make sense? And this is a great example. So in my business, before I sold it, I had a black belt club like any other martial arts studio that has kids, and almost to a T, 20% of my clientele base were in black belt club. So we had an average of like 25, give or take, people in black belt club. All right, so we average roughly about 120, sometimes 130 martial arts students, depending on the year and stuff like that. So about 20 to 25, I'd say 25 on average, was in our black belt club, right? So that's roughly 20%. Okay, so I put a lot of stuff, a lot of attention to my black belt club, because that was an upgrade program. They paid more money for everything. They always signed up for all my camps. They bought all the cool uniforms, the cool T-shirts, the weapons, everything. Does that make sense? They moved the business, if you will, and they made me, I'd say, a good portion of my money. Not that I neglected the 80%, but they weren't as committed. So you get that? All right, now you can go even 80-20 within that 80-20. All right, this is what I mean. You can go 20%. So you can go 20%. Like your best students of that 20%. You can put that into 80-20. So that's going to be roughly 5 people, right? And those 5 people in my studio were like, people all looked up to them. And it was like 4 or 5 of them, all right? It was Madeline, it was Adam, Ethan, Lauren, and then you could probably throw in a couple more in there, here and there. But those 4 to 5 people were like the heart, if you will. Like everyone followed them. It's 20%. Get it? Okay. Now it gets even cooler. You can do 20% of those 4 or 5 people, and that's exactly what happened. Is one person became the head instructor. My point is when you're trying to save so much money, and you're not taking advantage of outsourcing and what you're good at doing, and putting your attention on what makes you the most money, you're losing out on growth. So people always say, I don't have the funds to do that. I can't afford that. You can't afford it, or you just can't. You're not willing to invest in it. Okay, does that make sense? Because you can afford it. It's a matter of where you allocate things in your expenses. Because if you don't know what your monthly income is, if you don't know how much, I should probably get my mic a little bit closer. Sorry, guys. Wasn't even paying attention to that. If you don't know what your monthly income is, what your attrition rate is, what your retention is, how your leads are coming in, what your average tuition is, any of that stuff, and then what your expenses are, like what your actual expenses are every single month, then what's going to happen is that you're not going to believe in investing. And so what I realized is when I first opened my business, I was trying to do a lot of the stuff at the beginning. Eventually, I decided to hire. This was the time when SEO was huge. All right, that would make or break your business. So I hired a friend of mine that was an SEO expert, and I hired him. I was paying him like $300, $400 a month to do SEO for me, and it was good, right? He probably gave me a deal because I was a friend, but whatever. I probably would have paid him more, but I paid him whatever he charged me. So point being is that he SEO'd the crap out of my business, and I was paying him for 2-3 years, regular basis, whatever, to the point where he's like, there's nothing else that we can do. I was like, you got to be kidding. He's like, no. He's like, we can work on this and we can work on that. He's like, but you've pretty much maxed out like what you have going on. And I was like, okay. And so he gave me some ideas on what things to work on or whatever. Anyways, I was able to ride that train of what I invested in for a long time, like a few more years, to the point where I didn't really have to do a lot of online marketing. Not that I didn't market, I just didn't have to do a lot of SEO stuff. I did, the basic things like blog posting and posting in different areas and doing flyers and doing events in our studio. Like I did all those things, all that stuff, and I took advantage of all those things. But what I rode the wave, if you will. Okay, so getting back on track, is I invested in that. And that was an area that was well worth my time, because even him and I talking, he's like, you could probably figure out exactly what I'm doing. He's like, is it worth it to you? And it wasn't. It wasn't worth my time to figure out SEO. And today I have a very solid understanding on SEO strategies and how it works and what you should be doing. But I'll be honest, I do not put my time into that. So if I have clients that come to me that are in or outside of the martial arts industry and they request SEO, I'll take them. I will hire that out. All right. And there's a reason why I'll hire it out, because that's an area where I don't want to focus on. That's not what I want to do. I want to focus on things that is going to make me the most money. And SEO today isn't as lucrative as it used to be, as far as monetary money. SEO is like putting your business in the yellow pages. Okay. So, marketing has really shifted and has changed. Not a lot. It's just a cyclical thing. So it's just not focused just on one aspect anymore. So going back to the whole stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. When my business started growing is whenever I started trusting and hiring things that I was not good at doing. So web design, I hired it out. Okay. I basically hired, at the time when Mike was doing them, I hired him to design my website. And it worked really well for like 3 or 4 years. And then eventually it wasn't generating the same amount of leads. Things were changing. So what did I do? I invested in a company at the time. At that time was 97 Display. And I got nothing bad to say about them. It was a decent experience. They did really well at the beginning. I was getting leads. And it was good. But then somehow just kind of tapered off. I'm not really sure what they changed in their approach. But anyways. But I hired them. I was paying them $320 a month. And on top of that, I had them do both my websites, my martial arts website and my fitness website. So I was paying them over $600 a month. And I was paying them to do Facebook advertising for me as well, too, as well as Google advertising. I was spending close to $1,000, if not more, a month on that area. Why was I spending that kind of money? Because I didn't want to focus on that. What was I making the most money off of? Closing accounts. So lead comes in, I set the appointment, I do the intro class, and basically once I do the intro class, I close them and I make money, right? And that's where my attention was focused on: appointment setting and closing accounts. Okay, and then you just continue that whole thing. So you focus on what you're good at doing, and you hire out what you're not as good at. Not that I wasn't good at marketing. I didn't want to put the attention to that because I understood what was going on. Then I wasn't getting results on my ads, even though I committed with them for I think 3 or 4 months, and I was like, you guys aren't. There's something that's not working. They're like, what? We do these same ads, in other niches and other industries, and it works, but we're not really sure what's going on with yours. Long story short. We parted ways. It was all good, nothing bad. And I ended up going with Market Muscle, all right, to design my website. And so they did my website for both of them, both my martial arts and my fitness business. And, I think they were charging like $220 a month, something like that. And so basically I was paying like $400 plus. And then that's when I started I would do a lot of the Facebook ads myself, and I was very successful at doing them. But it was just that it was very time consuming. So I was willing to pay someone that would deliver results. The issue is that I couldn't find anyone that would deliver better results than me. So that's why I kept it. But the website, I didn't want to have to deal with web design. I didn't want to have to deal with learning how to do the website. I didn't want to have to deal with updating stuff. I didn't want to have to deal with making sure your website is up to par as far as security and content creation and images, and I didn't want to do any of that stuff. Why? Because I knew where my value was, guys. Okay? I wasn't willing. Yes, I could have saved $500 a month, all right, by hosting my own website, all right, and me doing my own design. Because before, that's what I was doing. I was hosting it myself. I was very good at doing WordPress. But I realized that it wasn't worth it to me. I was not making the kind of money I could have been making because I was spending time in another area. So what I'm getting to is that you got to take a look at your business overall and see what where your money's being made, okay? Like, and what your best skill sets are. If you suck at closing, then guess what you need to do? You need to hire a salesperson that closes. If you're like, I'm a rock star instructor, I'm the best, I make people happy, kids stay longer, cool, guess what you should be doing? You should be on the floor. And you should be developing staff to do enrollments. You should be developing staff do you see what's going on? Okay. And again, the excuse is going to be, well, I don't have that kind of money to do that. You do. You just have to you have to allocate money for that. You got to have to make sacrifices for that. Okay. This is I had someone message me 2 weeks ago on Facebook, and he was like, "Hey, can you tell me more about Market Muscle? I saw that you were using them and all stuff." So I told him what the cost was, and he goes, "Man, $220 a month. That seems like a lot of money. I don't know if that's worth it to me." And I'm like, "Okay, $220 a month. You know how many people you have to enroll to pay for that? So if you suck at sales, then yeah, it's expensive to you. But if you can close 1.5 person a month, let's just round it up. If you can close 2 people per month from just your website, then guess what? That pays itself. So you can't tell me that you can't afford it. You're not willing to invest in it, okay? And if that website isn't generating on average of 25 to 30 leads per month, then your website is crap, okay? It sucks. And if that bothers you, get over it, okay? Because you know what keeps your business afloat? Lead generation. That's what keeps your business afloat. That's what keeps all businesses afloat. Lead generation. So if you can't generate leads, you don't have a business, okay? I don't care how much of a rock star instructor you are. I don't care how smart you are in doing certain things or whatever, how great you are at closing. I don't care about any great relationships you have with your parents and the kids and all stuff. Doesn't matter. If you can't generate leads, that's the lifeblood of your business. You are going to close. You're done, okay? And people are going to say, man, that person was a really good instructor. I wonder what happened to them. Oh, I'll tell you what happened to them. They couldn't generate leads. They weren't a business person, okay? Being a good instructor doesn't make you a great business person, guys. Just understand that. And I'm probably offending some of you, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So what I'm getting to is that stop making these excuses about, I don't have the money to pay for this. I can't afford to pay for that. Like, if you're having a hard time generating leads, then guess what you need to do? You need to invest money in someone to help you generate leads. Okay? So maybe you invest in me, for instance. All right? I'm not trying to put a plug in just for me, but hire someone that specializes in lead generation, like on Facebook ads. All right? I don't do web design stuff. So when people ask me about, web design stuff, I always, refer it out to somebody else. Why? Because that's not my expertise. All right? I'd rather just, pass that business on to somebody else and just move on. Okay? So, where's my expertise? Sales, operations, marketing. All right? And a little bit of here and there and other things, but that's kind of where my expertise kind of lies. So guess what I promote? Guess what I push? All right? If you're struggling and growing your business, like you just need someone to help you, then you need to invest in coaching. Okay? And again, people say, well, I just can't afford that. All right. So if a business coach can't get you 1 new client per month or 4 new clients per month with their systems that they've designed or whatever, to pay for their services, if you will, then that coach sucks. Okay? But if you follow all the services and all the things that they do and tell you and the systems that they've created, it's a good coach. I had a business coach for going on 4 years, okay? And I still talk to him today after I sold my business. And I paid him $500 a month, which is a lot of money, $6,000 a year, all right? And at times I thought about well, what would happen if I just put that $6,000 into my pocket? Well, I never did that. It would be a bad idea, and I never did, because he held me accountable. He gave me the systems that I needed. He helped me address issues and things that were concerns about my business. He helped me sell my business. Okay, he helped me realize that it was time to move on, and almost, I think I paid him for 3.5 years, almost 4 years. So $6,000. 12, like $18,000-$20,000. I probably paid him $20,000 over the course of that time, right? Worth it to me, every penny. And you might be thinking, man, you must have been making good money. I wasn't making great money, guys. I was making decent money. I was enough to support my family. My wife was able to stay at home. Like all that stuff. Yeah, we were comfortable. I wasn't rolling in the dough. Where I'm coming from, though, is that I knew I needed someone to take me to the next level, and I wasn't willing to step over dollars to pick up dimes. Okay? So if you're that kind of person that's always stepping over dollars to pick up dimes, because you got to save a penny here, you got to save, and if you're like, well, it's all about what you save. It totally is, but it's also about what you invest in and know what you're good at. Okay? I watched Shark Tank. I haven't watched it in a while, but I used to watch Shark Tank religiously. And one of the sharks said that your business will only grow so much depending on what you allocate to to give other people to do, empower people to do sales, or empower people to handle X, or empower. You see what's going on? Your business will stop at a point of growth based on what you're willing to give up. Okay? Don't believe me? The most successful entrepreneurs, most successful businesses out there have systems and developmental things that help someone to develop to become X, or to become something better. All right? My point being is this, guys, is that you got to get out of this whole I don't have money thing, and think about the positives. Okay, if I invest in this, I'm going to get this. If I invest in this, then this is what kind of return I'm going to get. If I invest in this, this is what I'm going to be expecting to see. All right, it's not what you spend on, it's what you invest in. And are you in business for the short term, or are you in business for the long term? Because if you're in business for the short term, then don't invest in anything. Just do everything yourself. If you're in business for the long term, then invest in proper coaching. Invest in someone to do lead generation. Invest in someone to design your website. Do you see what's happening? If you're not really good at sales, develop someone to do it. Have a system, and they follow the system, and you just focus on teaching. If you don't want to teach anymore and you're great at sales, then vice versa. Do you see what's happening? You got to find where you're really, really good at doing, hire out the rest. Okay? And again, people are going to keep saying, well, I can't afford to pay for these services. It's too expensive. Is it too expensive, or are you too cheap? Which one is it? Is it too expensive, or are you too cheap? Because if you're too cheap, then maybe you need to raise your standards. Okay? If it's too expensive, then maybe what you need to do is you need to learn how to make more money. Because when you start making more money, that doesn't become an issue. Okay? You got to see where value is when it counts. All right? And again, I'm probably offending some of you guys that are listening to this. And if I offend you, I'm kind of not sorry. Because I had to hear this myself, and it sucked to hear it at the early stages of me running my martial arts studio. But what I will tell you is I'm so happy that I had someone speak to me in these things, in these terms, and I started realizing that my business would only grow based on what I invested in for my growth of my business. Coaching, marketing, learning. I remember traveling to different events and seminars and stuff like that to learn from people, okay? To the point where I was able to sell my business for a decent payout. I was talking to one of, I guess you can say, an industry expert. He posted on Facebook the other day about who has recently sold their business in the past 24 months, bought or sold a business. And I mentioned that I did. And then he private messaged me, and he asked me what I sold it for, and I told him. And he's like, how many students did you have? And I told him. And he's like, man, you did really well. And in my head, I'm like, I didn't do that well. But in reality, I did pretty good. And it helped me a lot. Okay. So I guess, where I'm coming from is like, if you really want to be in this whole martial arts thing for the long haul, then you need to start investing in you guys. Okay. And you need to start outsourcing things that you are not good at. Stop pinching dimes. Stop stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. Okay. Start investing in something that's going to make you a success. Okay. So, this is going to be a shameless plug. All right. I didn't put this in here because I'm trying to sell my services to you guys. Don't get me wrong. Like I want to make an income. However, I want to help you guys. Okay. I just got a message from a client last night that I've been running ads for her for about 6 weeks now. And we found the right formula now, and it's starting to produce. She said that she has gotten already 4 people? No, I take that back. 3 people signed up already. There were walk-ins, and they're like, I saw your ad on Facebook. So they didn't opt into my ads, but they walked in, which is cool. And then another one was like, I want to sign my 3 grandkids up. And she's getting comments from a Hispanic community that she didn't expect to get. So what does that tell me? Our ads are working, okay? The investment is good, all right? Now we need to capitalize on that offer and quote unquote exploit that offer even more so. And we need to open up to the Hispanic community. Why? Because they're the ones that are responding to these ads as well too. There's people calling, asking if she speaks Spanish. So what does this tell me? That we are on the right track. But here's the thing. This doesn't always work for every niche and every industry as perfect, okay? There's time, there's development, there's things that have to be worked out, okay? And this is why when I tell people, like, if you're going to invest in our coaching program, you need to be committed for 6 to 12 months. Can't be like 1 month and that's it. Can't. Like, you have to be committed. If you're going to be, investing in Facebook marketing where we handle ad management for you, okay? Which, by the way, what we charge, dirt cheap. What I charge outside of the martial arts industry, I'm charging anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 per month for just management of your ads. This does not include ad spend, okay? Just managing your ads. And if you're thinking, well, that's a lot of money. Yes, and I've spent a lot of money and knowledge and training to develop myself to get to that point. So you're paying for that. Is Harvard expensive, or are you paying for the instructors? Which one is it? In my opinion, you're paying for the instructors. It's not expensive. It's an investment if you find it as an investment. I personally don't find college as an investment today, but that's just my personal opinion. With that said, if you are looking for someone to help you to take your business to the next level, you need a coach. We are offering these one-to-one coaching programs, and they're really cool. I'm finalizing the layout of what I want it to look like. Mike Massey is getting some stuff transferred over to a new software they're going to be using, and then we're going to be pushing this program huge. Okay. If you're looking for someone to do Facebook ad management for your company, because A, you either can't get the results that you want, or B, like your marketing strategies aren't very good and you're not really sure how it works, then hire me and I'll be happy to do it for you. Okay. So with that said, what I'm getting to is that look at investing in helping you. Okay. If you want someone to do your website design, don't hire me because I can't do that. Okay. I can make cool funnels. I can make really good funnels that convert and they do very well. Website stuff, not me. Okay. I'll tell you to go with Market Muscle. There's no shame for me to promote somebody else that's better at that. Why? Because that's not my thing, guys. All right. So, if you are struggling with something else, or if you need something else, I'm not going to sell you on what I can't offer you. Okay. So that's what I'm getting to is that I know what I'm good at, and that's where my attention goes. Okay. And so that's what you should be doing in your business. Focus on the 80-20. All right. This went way longer than what I expected. All right. So 30 minutes. And I apologize, but it looks like some people are still kind of sticking in and watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Post below if you like. If this was something that resonated with you, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'm happy to give you a 30-minute free coaching session with myself to either discuss Facebook marketing, to discuss your business, and to help you see what I can do to help take your business to the next level. If it's a good fit, perfect, great. If it's not, no harm, no foul. But it's free. It's 30 minutes. And so I'm building our one-to-one coaching program to where there's only going to be 10 people at the very beginning. That's it. Once we get 10 people, we're cutting it off, and we're going to focus on those 10 people, and then we're going to move on. Same kind of concept with our Facebook marketing. Right now we have like 4 or 5 people in our Facebook marketing. We'll probably keep it at around 10, give or take, and then we'll probably consider expanding it later a little bit more down the road. So hope this was informative for you guys. If you have any questions, again, post them below. Feel free to private message me if you like. But we're here to help you guys out. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a powerful Friday.